The director gets, they're responsible for what ends up on screen, and the producer is responsible for everything that's happening behind the screen. And in my case, it starts sometimes with the concept and through the script and working with the director on the casting, and then for my company all the way through the festival launch and the marketing and the accounting. And I love making movies, so it may be crazy, and my wife thinks it's crazy, but it's what I do. I have always wanted to make movies since I was very little, and it took a long time to learn how movies actually get made, how they get financed, how you make a movie that gets distribution and makes its money back. I had been roommates with the director, Evan Katz, and he had we were friends, and he had helped us on a couple of movies like A Horrible Way to Die and The Aggression Scale. One day he knocked on my door and said, I'd like to direct. And I said, okay. And okay, what do you want? And he said, well, Trent's got this old script. Why don't you read it? And read it, and there was a very good idea there. And then we spent a couple of years working on the script, making the changes that we thought needed to be made to make the movie better. And as soon as the script was right, it was very easy. No, I mean, it's tough. That movie, because there were very few effects, it was easy to say, okay, we're going to do it on set. We've done other movies that to do an effect practical, it takes so much time. And if you have a lot of effects in a movie, but you don't have enough money to spend 40 days, 60 days filming the movie, then digital is probably the way to go. And I think digital effects have now come into their own, where people are used to seeing them and they have their own sort of style. Is determined by what you can pull off. So we have, there's a scene where the character of Vince is punching Craig in the face again and again. So you sort of shoot it down below so that you don't see who he's punching. That's the director, and also sort of, we knew on that movie when it was violent, we wanted it to have an impact. So sometimes it's better to sort of obscure it a little. I don't think I have boundaries. I think that our goal is to have movies that can play all over the world. So in one of the drafts of Cheap Thrills, for example, in the third act, big twist was there was a woman with a person with a bag over their head, and they pulled the bag off, and it was the main character's wife, and he was going to have to cut her head off or something. And it was very gory and very gruesome and over the top, and that wasn't the reason I said no, or we shouldn't do it. It was more because for that story that didn't seem like the right thing to do. So no, I mean, I'm not scared of violence or gore or explicitness, but the real goal is to have it serve the story. Yeah, the project came to me from a company called Epic Pictures, and they said, oh, we want to make a monster movie. Okay. They said, we want to make a cool monster movie, and I said, oh, even better. So, our goal with that was to just think of the monster movies that we loved and the qualities that they had, and take a script that was, maybe a little flat and try to make it more fun. And once they cast it with Greg Grunberg and Lombardo, the two main guys just had such good chemistry, and the director just allowed, Mike Mendez allowed them to sort of bring it to life and get that Ghostbusters, you know, sort of camaraderie, that what the hell's going on here, you know. Unfortunately, I didn't have to deal with it. My producing partner, Shaked Berenson, would be on Skype with the effects company 4 or 5 in the morning, getting shots in, sending them back, because the effects company was based in Pakistan. So it was a logistical nightmare, and I tip my hat to him for handling it. You know, because you don't know what it's going to look like. You know, even when you're shooting it, you're going, okay, so do we need this building in the shot, or are we going to be able to deal with this car? And the effects person on set, oh, don't worry about it. But you know, you never know. And luckily, they really did a great job. I think every movie has its own challenges. Cheap Thrills, yes, it's smaller, 4 people in a room, but they had to be the right 4 people. And it was all about the performance, and it was all about every second really getting more and more exciting. You know, because a movie with 4 people in a room can be very boring, you know. Big ass spider, you got spiders and buildings falling down and people shooting guns. There's a little more fun to be had. But then on the other hand, you've got to deal with, you know, hundreds of extras and all the visual effects and stuff. So every movie has its own challenge. Usually it's the filmmaker first. If I want to, you know, make some art with that person, that's the most important thing. And then I just have to think the movie is doing something progressive. You know, something that hasn't been done before, something cool, something different. I work a lot with first-time filmmakers or inexperienced filmmakers, and I feel my job is to make sure that somebody's thinking of everything. And, you know, it's very hands-on. You know, oh, maybe we should get this shot, you know, turn around, get this. You know, the wardrobe doesn't look right. Making a movie can be overwhelming, and especially at these budgets, there's not a lot of time to figure it out. So I try to be the second brain for the director. When you're running in a production, you don't have time to really think. You need to move fast and make decisions fast. We had a movie here last year called The Aggression Scale. And 3 days into filming, the lead actress put her hand through a window and almost cut her finger off. And we didn't know if we were going to have to stop shooting and recast, or if we could reschedule and put her stuff later. She was able to work, but all of a sudden had this big cast on her hand. And we had to go, okay, how do we work this into the story? And so we got together with the writer and quickly came up with a way to put it in, and that's not really sad, but it's you know, you just keep going, keep moving. Being clever, you know, having the movies do things that maybe you wouldn't expect, you know. I mean, the thing I'm proud of is I work very, very hard on the movies. I never stop thinking, how can we make it better? How can we make it cooler? Make it something somebody hasn't seen before? What's the twist we can put on it? And I think really understanding what the director's trying to do with the movie and thinking about it all the time, you know, constantly thinking about it, results in the movies getting a little bit better than genre films sometimes do. Yeah, I mean, I love the G.I. Joe movies. I love Pain and Gain. Battleship. I think Battleship, people like hate that movie, and I think that the reasons why people hate it are because they think it's taking itself serious. And I don't think that movie takes itself serious. I think everybody involved in that movie knew that it was stupid, and they had a lot of fun with that. And the fact that it opens up with like a 10-minute scene of a guy trying to steal a chicken burrito to prove his love and is crawling while being tasered to give her the chicken burrito. It's like, they knew what they were doing. I'd love to do a sequel to Buckaroo Banzai. That would be great. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. It was Peter Weller, Jeff Goldblum. Buckaroo Banzai was a brain surgeon, rock star, ninja, race car driver. And he had a group of crime-fighting friends, and aliens invade, led by John Lithgow. It's so good. We have 2 movies in post-production. One movie called Starry Eyes, that's like a Rosemary's Baby type movie about an actress who gets her big break, but the company that hired her is a satanic cult. And then we have a exploitation movie called American Muscle. And we're casting 2 projects now, one called Teenage Cocktail, about 2 high school girls who fall in love and start pulling crime to finance their getaway, and a movie called We Are Still Here, which is a ghost story set in the 70s. I love painting, design, graphic design, stuff like that. Probably be sweeping floors, janitor. Yeah.
That was Eric Powell's answer just yesterday.
Good. Maybe we would work together.
Okay, thank you.
Good.